Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I announce to you that the long-awaited rematch between Luffy and Lucci is finally here, and it's going to be much bigger and better this time around. Chapter 1069 and 1070 from the manga tease us of this epic encounter as we see Vegapunk allying himself with the Straw Hats, seeking refuge from CPO in order to escape the Egghead Island. Now you all must be thinking, it will be a straightforward win for Luffy with Gear 5, but hold your horses. Lucci himself has grown incredibly strong, and even had an awakening, which definitely provides some room for speculation. Granted, the first encounter didn't go as planned by the CPO leader, who knows, Oda is one tricky dude. So, welcome back to Anime Max. Today we'll be analyzing the Luffy vs Lucci fight up till now, my opinions on the matter, and hopes for the final boss fight that is most evident to come. So join me in this rant as I try to share my excitement with you. And if you want more content like this on your feed, do subscribe to our channel as it means a lot to us and helps us grow. Back in Water 7 and Eni's lobby, the Cyberpole appeared as the Straw Hats' biggest opponents at the time, pushing the crew to its limits. This is where we saw Luffy's first ever power-up in the shape of Gear 2, which enabled him to go toe-to-toe with Lucci. Everyone remembers how epic of a battle that was. This also made out Rubber Boy realize that he had to get even stronger in order to continue his journey and protect his crew. Back in their first encounter, we saw Lucci using the powers of Neko Neko no Mi, Model Leopard, to the very fullest as he unleashed an arsenal of techniques on the Straw Hat captain. However, despite all his struggles, he ended up on the floor anyway. But that being said, he has now grown tremendously powerful with his new awakened powers. And who knows, this might prove a further match than we ever imagined. Now, before we get into his awakening, we first need to understand the nature of his devil fruit. As one might guess from the very name of the devil fruit, Lucci has eaten a Zoan-type devil fruit, which is the parent category of the cat fruit. With its powers, Lucci is able to turn himself into a leopard at will. However, his usual transformation comes in the hybrid form due to the nature of the devil fruit. Zoans allow its host to take a hybrid form. This basically transforms Lucci into something in between a leopard and a human, granting him the powers of a leopard and then some. This makes him more mobile and well suited for combat. These are his basic powers, which he showcased in his fight with Luffy at Eni's lobby. However, as was quite apparent in this little sparring session between the two captains, Lucci has also mastered several other techniques that allow him to utilize his devil fruit to its full potential. One of these abilities is Life Return, which enables him to manipulate the muscle mass of his body. Which means, depending on the situation, he can freely decrease or increase it. Combine this with his mastered Rokushiki, a combat style that multiplies one's physical capabilities 100-fold, and we have a major villain at hand. Now coming back to chapter 1069. This is where we first encounter this awakened Lucci, sent to assassinate Vegapunk in the Egghead Island arc. But little does he know that it is the Straw Hats who have taken Vegapunk under their protection, and with it comes the unmatched potential of a Sea Emperor. As soon as the two nemesis come into contact, Luffy transforms into his Gear 5 and a battle erupts. Given the Straw Hat's superior abilities, he of course takes the lead and keeps Lucci occupied. The poor leopard has no chance at all. Though, it is without question that Lucci has improved a great deal from his previous self. His Devil Fruit awakening is not the only thing Lucci has going for himself, as Haki has now come as a dominant force, which may let us deduce how strong of a character he really is. But before reaching to any conclusions, let's first look at his recent feats in the Egghead Island arc. Alongside with Kuma Seraphim and some foot soldiers, Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy arrived at Egghead and entered Vegapunk lab. That is when the group comes across Punk Atlas, one of the 6 satellite bodies Dr. Vegapunk managed to split his being into. After seeing the government agents, Atlas immediately recognizes them and goes on the offensive. Lucci, however, is quick to stop it. Transforming into his animal-human hybrid form, Lucci moves in front of Atlas with his blitzing speed. He then unleashes a Rokugan on Punk Atlas, which results in her instant defeat. The cyborg's face ends up cracked and partially destroyed. The first spoilers of chapter 1069 emphasized Lucci's strength even more, which states that Lucci has gained the spotlight with his surprising actions and feats. And even the fact that Lucci was prompted to CP9 to CPO, the greatest secret agency in the world government's disposal, speaks volumes of his talent and strength. Not only that, he was appointed as a masked agent, who are the strongest agents among the organization with impressive strength. In this way, it is safe to assume that he is stronger than the rest of the masked agents, which include Jernica and Maha. This is pretty significant given Jernica is much stronger than the Sword member and worst generation Supernova X Drake, while Maha is more or less on par with him as well. In this manner, we can say that Lucci would be at the very least at the level of the lowest commander tier fighters like Cracker, Jack, Prospero, and so on. However, according to spoilers from chapter 1069, he might just be even stronger. Lucci was also able to endure a named attack from Gear 5 Luffy. Not only did Lucci recover immediately, but also proved that he did not suffer any major damage. This shows evidence of the use of an upgraded and advanced version of armament haki. So at this point, it appears more logical to consider Lucci to be as strong as Marco, King, and Katakuri, being the second strongest member of their respective crews only after their captains themselves. These right-hand men are the strongest commander-level fighters. Yet, as the battle raged on, Lucci found himself at a disadvantage against the sheer absurdity of Luffy's abilities. Moves that alter the very fabric of reality can definitely prove difficult to adapt to. Maybe he had a move under his best that Lucci failed to reveal. Nonetheless, Luffy had him on the ropes, and this allowed the rest of the Straw Hats to escape with Vegapunk. Now coming to Luffy, it is very evident from his clash against Kaido that he is now easily Emperor level. Compared to what he was in pre-time skip, he definitely has come a long way. With the awakening of his devil fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi, model sun god Nika, previously known as the Gomu Gomu no Mi, one could say that Luffy has reached the rank of a god. It is said to be the most ridiculous power in the world as we get to see him able to ragdoll Kaido, altering the very fabric of the ground to a rubber shield capable of deflecting Kaido's blast breath. Up till that point, Kaido was the strongest creature, but that title is no more with him with the descent of the Warrior of Liberation, Joy Boy. Moreover, according to spoilers, we see Vegapunk explain the true nature of Luffy's devil fruit powers. According to this, Luffy still hasn't utilized his powers to its fullest extent, which tells us about the sheer potential of his further growth and maybe even room for future power-ups. Not like he needs it anymore, but now that Eiichiro Oda has decided to bring back one of the most iconic main villains of the story, the hype sure is as high as expected. Surely, Oda didn't disappoint either by giving Lucci a very major power-up. With his new fighting abilities enhanced by a completely new awakened form, Lucci has become a major threat, even for commander-level fighters. He possesses armament haki strong enough to class with Gear 5 Luffy, which is no common feat as Luffy is now formally considered as a full-fledged emperor. However, this does not necessarily mean that Lucci is a fighter at the same level as emperors or admirals. On many occasions throughout the series, it has been emphasized that Luffy holds himself back in fights that occur before the decisive phase of an arc. This happened with Hyozo in Fisherman Island, with Monet in Punk Hazard, and with Ulti in the Wano arc. Similarly, in this clash, Luffy held back most of his true power of Gear 5 in Conqueror's Haki. Otherwise, if he had gone full power, the outcome may have resulted in utter defeat for the CPO agent. The upcoming chapters will, however, definitely demonstrate just how well Lucci adapts to this new and improved Luffy and if he is able to keep up with him. That is when we may just be able to truly realize just how strong the elite CPO agent is and if he is worthy of being ranked at the same level as Zoro, Kid, and Law, who are easily at least Admiral level by now. For the time being, Lucci's strength just does not seem to be on par with Luffy, and well, it is pretty obvious who would win in a prolonged fight, as Luffy has shown unparalleled levels of endurance in his previous fights. Nonetheless, the battle has just begun. With Kizaru on his way with a marine fleet and the whole island sealed up, it's only a matter of time till the next big showdown. No matter how these two might clash next, it will definitely go down as one of the most iconic fights and rematches in One Piece. The fandom is surely up for another ride as the hype only grows with every passing day. Well, this concludes my rant on the matter. As things seem, Luffy is way out of Lucci's league. It's difficult to imagine him covering such a huge power level gap within the next few chapters. Nonetheless, the fight has barely begun, and if he is back, then Oda must have some tricks up his sleeve. Only time will tell what that is. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and comment down below what do you think will happen in this fight. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the One Piece world. For now, allow me to leave and calm down after such an intense episode, and I'll be back soon with another video. Peace.